Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay, and welcome back to Let's Play Chronicon. I was having a bit of slowdown earlier, but hopefully that has resolved itself. Sometimes it seems like I need to start my recording and then end it and then start a new recording, because somehow in OBS, the first time I record after booting it up, for some reason, Anyway, that's not something you need to worry about. Welcome back to the game. As hopefully you'll be able to tell just by hearing my voice, I'm feeling much better. I was pretty sick the last episode that I recorded. I'm still not 100% well. In fact, I'm still gonna cough a few times at some point. But my sore throat is gone, and man, that makes a huge difference. And it's interesting, you know, because sometimes the worst things about being sick, like the worst symptoms, are the ones that are least apparent to other people. Like, you know, if I'm coughing or if I'm sniffling, if my nose is running, those are things that other people notice. And then they're like, oh, hey, how are you doing? But those things aren't that bad themselves. But when your throat is hurting, it can be the most miserable thing, but people will have no idea unless you actually tell them. But anyway, that's just like an interesting little thing I was thinking about how what you see isn't always the full story. Alright, before we jump into this episode, a bit of a debrief about the last episode. As you can see, we still have some Halloween decorations around the hub area. That's because I'm recording this while we are still in the time frame for the Halloween event. But I'm not going to be doing the Halloween event again because, just to recap, last episode we got the codex entry for the Halloween area, the pumpkin fields. We also got the codex entry for the Halloween enemies, these pumpkin-headed gentlemen. And we also got the codex entry for the Halloween event item, which is this pumpkin helmet. So I'm not going to be doing it again. There is one item that we didn't get. It's a relic, but relics, as far as I know, don't have codex entries associated with them. Like you see, I've got a relic here as well, as one of my D-pad items, one of my one of my quick items. And this one is the Wing of Zurich. I don't even remember where I got it, but like I don't think this actually shows up in the item codexes. It's all, if you look at the item types, they are all just gear that can be equipped. So we're not gonna worry about relics. I may, if someone gives me a compelling reason to get it, this event is gonna be going on for another couple of days. I may get one more chance to do it like off screen. So if someone lets me know like some incredible secret that has to do with that relic, that like you really need to get it, but as far as I can tell, it's nothing special. So, and you know, it doesn't count towards at least my definition for game completion. I'm not interested in finding rare drop items that the game doesn't even acknowledge that you found them. You know, it might seem petty, but you know what? I'm all about recognition. So yeah, for that reason, I'm not going to worry too much about that item. The other thing about the last episode, and there's cough number 1 for the episode. Don't worry, I'm not going to do something dumb. I'm not going to keep like a cough counter or anything. But what I was going to say was, so a couple episodes ago when we were doing, you know, the different anomaly types, and I had a really good run in one of the Endless Anomalies. I got a streak of, I think, 1,426 kills. It was my highest at the time, and I was really proud of that. It was my first 1,000 plus streak for the series, I was so proud, in fact, that I put it in the episode title. Now, a few episodes after that, in the Halloween, the seasonal area episode, in the seasonal zone itself, I beat that kill streak record twice. Once I got almost 1600, and right after that I did it again and I got almost 1700. And you'll notice that I didn't put those in the episode title. The reason is it wouldn't feel right to me to brag about it or to even call attention to it, because as I mentioned in that episode, it's just one open area with no obstacles, no strategy involved, and it's also locked at legendary difficulty, which is pre-endgame, and to go there with a character that is able to do mythic tier 55, and then act all proud and like it's something amazing that I went into a legendary difficulty area with no physical environmental obstacles either and got a high kill streak. You know what, I'm not about that. So the rule that I'm going to adopt is I'm only going to mention high kill streaks and episode titles when I get them in the Endless Anomalies in this end game zone. And if I don't, then it doesn't matter where else I've gotten high kill streaks, we're just gonna act like they didn't happen. Right, so that's, I think, everything I wanted to mention about like housekeeping and stuff about the series in general. Now let's get into what we're gonna do in this episode. We're gonna get back to my main objectives for this Warden Endgame series, which is to wrap up the last few completionist goals that I have. It's going to take a few episodes before we do that. Mainly, I want to grind up enough crystals to take this skill all the way to 100. I did some rough calculations which told me I needed about 480 million. Right now we've got 418 million, so we're not far, but still a little distance to go before we get there. That's one thing I want to do. The other thing I want to do is I want to upgrade my last two beasts. There's this guy. This guy is the one who's going to take the longest, mainly because clear ice is hard to get. It's just you don't often find areas with ice in the anomalies, and I'm not going to go into the low-level areas into the expedition just to farm ice, so this is going to take a while. The other one, this guy is almost done. In a few more areas with treants and fey enemies, and that'll be wrapped up. But yes, this guy is going to be the one that we have on by default. And at some point, they'll get leveled up, but I'm not going to make it a point to try and level this guy up. If it turns out that I've done literally everything else that I wanted to in this series, and the only thing left to do is to level this ice beast up, then sure, maybe then I'll go into the ice expedition areas to grind up some of those materials. And other than that, we've just got some other little codex things to get, mainly runes, and we'll get those when we'll do those later on when we're doing the elite dungeon anomalies, I think. Yes, which give us rune stones. But for now, what I really want to get out of the way is the crystal grind. So with that out of the way, let's jump in and let's do some endless regular anomalies. There's one other thing I want to do, and as soon as I jump in, I'm gonna do this. Go to endless random. So no, not endless random. I accidentally minimized the game. Endless dungeon. Endless dungeon, which is gonna give me the stuff that I need. As soon as I jump in, I'm going to start a timer on my phone. And the timer, it's a 40-minute. Ooh. Even this anomaly has a Halloween decorations in it. I guess I never did any of these anomalies while the the last time I went, when the seasonal event was active. So it's nice to see that the little aesthetic modifications to the game aren't just for the hub area. So you can enjoy them in the broader end game experience as well. So the reason I've set a 40-minute timer on my phone is I'm gonna do Endless Anomalies for 40 minutes. And when the 40th minute runs out, I will just finish whatever anomaly I was doing then, and then call an end to it. This is probably gonna be, for that reason, a bit of a longer episode, because I once again did spend some time at the beginning just talking. The reason is I want to get a sense of how good anomalies are as a way to farm up crystals. And what I'm going to do in the next episode is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to set a... oh no, I'm going to lose my streak now. I'm going to set another 40-minute timer, but instead of random endless anomalies, I'm going to do greater boss anomalies. Because those are also a good way to very quickly farm up crystals. And I'm going to see which one is the better way to do it. I actually don't know what the results are going to be, but what I suspect is going to happen is that greater boss anomalies may actually turn out to be the faster way to get crystals. Because you can so quickly fill up your inventory with items to sell. You get good amounts of crystals, like an okay amount of crystals, just for beating the anomaly. And you can beat the anomaly very quickly. But where they're probably going to fall behind is they won't give us that much experience, because a lot of our experience we're getting in the form of these long kill streaks, whereas for the greater boss anomalies, you're really just killing one strong enemy and that's it. And the experience you get isn't even for the enemy itself, but it's the reward for beating the anomaly, which are like two different things. So that is my suspicion, that the anomalies, the greater boss anomalies, aren't necessarily going to be a good way to get experience, but are going to be an okay way to grind up crystals. But we'll only find out at the end of next episode, which is when we will have a few data points to make our comparison. Obviously, even with these endless anomalies, a lot depends on what kind of layout you get, so there is going to be some randomness. That's why I'm doing it this way. Like 40 minutes will give me a chance to do a few anomalies, maybe see a few different area layout types, and so make the comparison a little bit more statistically robust, so to speak. Alright, let's keep on going. We're fighting these worm enemies, which is good, because they are going to give us some of the materials we need for our ice beast. I'm not doing a good job at all of getting good kill streaks. I'm not being helped by the environment. There's just so many areas where our shots are being blocked. I'm not too worried about kill streaks. I guess I should be, because kill streaks are also a way to get some extra crystal in addition to extra experience. But you get some good crystal at the end of the anomaly for beating it as well. And every time you beat an anomaly, you unlock the next tier, which will also raise the rewards for, the higher, more difficult version that you're able to do the next time. But of course, it also makes the enemies a bit more difficult to kill, and they will be more dangerous to you as well. So, there's pros and cons. I'll kill kill that worm. And let's run to zone 3 of this anomaly. So far, 6 minutes have gone by. And we are on the last floor of this anomaly. So at this rate, we will probably be doing 4 of these. Maybe 5, depending on if we get a few quick floors here and there. But this looks like it's a bit of a longer floor, because look at how many enemies we've killed, and we're only at 20%. Alright. Oh yeah, another thing that's going to slow down anomalies is... and this is going to slow down the greater boss anomalies as well, is selling items in between. But, you know, that's just a part of the game. Alright, we're making decent progress. Ooh, we're getting all sorts of kills. And it's just beautiful watching my... oh no, watching my... oh, am I gonna let my kill streak run out? I am not. I was gonna say it's beautiful watching my Splinter activate in a crowd of enemies, because that's where it really shines, where the mass damage really comes into play. I love fighting crowds of enemies with this character. That is where this character truly shines. Not bad against single targets, but really, really good against crowds of enemies. And somehow I kept my streak alive. On this floor, at least. So we're gonna get an okay reward once this streak ends. Let's... excuse me. Let's see if maybe we can go towards 500. We could rush towards the boss. We've unlocked the portal. But let us try our best to get our streak as high as we can. Get a few more crystals, a bit more experience. And we'll see what we were able to do. Devastation, that means we hit 500. Oh, I disabled my auto loot at some point, but that's okay. I re-enabled it. The auto loot is that faint circle around my character. I'll disable it right now and re-enable it again. The way it gets disabled or enabled is if you, in my case, if I press the left thumbstick. And sometimes, you know, in the excitement of the moment, I'm just trying to move the left thumbstick, but you move it a little bit too vigorously. You accidentally press it instead. That is one way where I accidentally disable my auto loot. And I can actually adjust the brightness of the auto loot and make it easier to see, but I've kept it faint because if at its default level of brightness, it's just really distracting. And on most environments, it's easy to see if you've accidentally turned it off or not. But on some environments, it's very difficult to see. But on the whole, I feel like the level that I've got it set at, it works for me. Alright, now we've like hit the end of our streak, and we could run to the boss, but I'm just gonna quickly run around the level. Excuse me. Quickly run around the level because my auto loot circle was off for a while, and I did leave some stuff on the ground. I do want to pick all that stuff up. And now we will rush towards the boss. About 10 minutes in, not to the video, but 10 minutes into my 40-minute timer. So as I suspected, at this rate, we will be doing 4 anomalies. And I don't think we're gonna get a 5th one in, especially if you factor in the time it takes to sell items. I could go into the next anomaly before selling anything, but I will run out of space, and it's way more unwieldy to sell stuff when you're in an anomaly, because then you've got to wait for your beast to come back, and then that takes time. I think overall it is better to just sell stuff like this. And let's remind ourselves, excuse me, we've got to save this High Ranger's Helm, and Snowpiercer, no. We've got to save the High Ranger's Helm because... Oh yeah, I can't sell that sickle. I'll save the High Ranger's Helm because I do need it, because I'm keeping a second copy of the High Ranger's set. The only thing left is the Snowstorm arrows. And next... Oh yeah, I also should get my notebook out, because on my notebook is a list of the true legendaries that I'm holding on to. This is killing a lot of the time that could be used for these endless anomalies, but you know what, at this point it's unavoidable. I don't need this. I might need these. Hydroscale? No, I don't need Hydroscale. I need different boots. Maybe these? Boots of Hazard? No, those aren't even true legendary. So we're just gonna sell all this stuff. Was that? No, that was the High Ranger's arrow. Okay, now let's do this and let us jump right into another anomaly. Let's see how much crystal we got. About 16 million. Not too bad. Started with 418 million. Now we're at 434. Not too shabby. Ooh, and we're gonna stick with the Halloween theme. This is good, because this means all of the anomalies for this video are gonna have roughly the same color palette, which means the compression should be pretty good on this video, which means it shouldn't take that long to process, and its file size shouldn't be that big either. That's been one of the issues I've encountered on my side with videos where I'm doing a lot of endless anomalies, is because there can be so much variation in terms of the types of environments you see, that sometimes it's not, you know, very... like, it can result in some pretty big file sizes. Oh, I tried my best to keep my streak alive. Wasn't quite able to. There is a stat in this game called Reach, which essentially is weapon range. And if my reach was higher, it would be easier to keep my streak alive by just shooting blindly, because I'd then be hitting other groups of enemies that maybe I haven't even aggroed yet. And I've got, I think, a few bonuses to reach, but it's not a stat that I've really focused on. So that's so while reach will occasionally help me, it's not a huge part of my build. So I can't rely on it alone to do things like, you know, keeping my streak alive. I will have to actually, so what I'm gonna do is excuse me, Oh no, I messed it up. Messed this up. What I was gonna say was, even though there was, you know, a large area of the previous level of this anomaly that I hadn't gone to where I could kill enemies, I wanted to go to the next anomaly with a bit of a kill streak already in hand to maybe get a longer kill streak. But that didn't work for two reasons. My kill streak died almost immediately because we didn't have any enemies close by, and this is a terrible anomaly layout where it's very hard to chain your streak between groups of enemies just because of all the obstacles and walls in between. So even though my plan failed, it's okay. If nothing else, we got through that anomaly area a little bit quicker. Excuse me. Making up for some of the time that we lost earlier. Alright. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. And let's hit this chest. Another kind of hidden chest. And we are in this area. Unfortunately, because it looks like we're gonna keep getting this terrain, I don't think this terrain can ever have ice in it. So we're not gonna be making any progress on upgrading our ice piece. But that's okay. Like I mentioned, it's one of my goals, but it's a low priority goal. And if we get to the point where it's the only goal, then there are things we can do to make specific progress for it, and there's stuff that I left behind here. Let's try and get it while also, you know, chaining our attacks so we don't lose our streak. My loot circle briefly disappeared again. Alright, another couple of chests. Another chest here, and let's keep going. And we are at the boss. We can go to the boss whenever we want, but we might as well try and get a bit of a kill streak going on. Got past 200. When we hit 300, 400, probably not 500. Even 400 might be a struggle. But in fact, even 300 might be tough because it looks like this is a pretty small area. So let's just start making our way towards the boss. Hit a couple of these shrines, go in, do the boss. And I think they all have the same dialogue, so we're not gonna worry too much about hearing what they have to say. Ooh, we did take quite a bit of damage. Our shield went down from 470,000 to 220,000, but well, we got through, which, I mean, like, it means we are still okay in this area. Again, I keep confusing Snowpiercer for the snowstorm arrows, but they are not the same thing. Nor do we need that. We don't need this or that. Don't need that. Don't need any of these. And we'll sell this stuff as well. There we go. 444 million. Fantastic. Let's refresh our elixirs and let's jump back in at tier 57 now. Ooh, and this is a... Ooh, we do get different environments because this is a desert environment, but all the environments will simply have these Halloween decorations in them. But that's good. That means we do still have a chance of finding ice in that case. But on the flip side, it means, you know, all that stuff I was saying about how this is going to be good for compression, not necessarily true anymore. Not necessarily true. See all kinds of attack animations on the ground all around me, but as far as I can tell, it's not done a huge amount of damage to me. Let's try and keep it that way if we can. I feel like am I going in the right direction? No, the exit is above me, but I feel like at this point I've committed myself to going down, because if I try to go back up, there's too much of a gap in between groups of enemies that I would lose my kill streak. So let's just go as far as we can here and get as high of a streak as we can, and then we'll go up and then we'll try and build a new streak. Yeah, I made a split-second decision, you know, on the mini-map where roughly where you see that chest. I went down instead of up. Had I gone up, could have been a bit better. Excuse me. Again, sorry for the coughing, but what are you gonna do? Alright. Let's carry on. A lot of havoc all around us. I'm going to put that item. And just like that, we've got another nearly 100 enemies in this streak. Run back here, scoop up these items. This is why auto-looting is so good. All you need to do is go within a certain distance of the item and it'll pick it up. I'm not going to worry about that shrine. I'm going to try and keep my streak alive. And indeed, I was able to keep the streak alive. Fantastic. Ooh, more of these worm enemies, which is great. They're going to give us some of the... Hey, it's probably not going to pop up on the screen because it's part of the Steam overlay and not the window that I'm recording, but I finally got the achievement for opening 1,000 chests. And after this, I'm probably going to just promptly forget to open chests. I shouldn't. I should keep opening chests. But the main reason that I've been, like, obsessively opening chests is... I kind of ruined my own streak there just to run back for that scroll. That wasn't even something that I wanted to pick up. I was distracted by the achievement. Kind of threw me off my game a little bit. That's okay. We'll build a new streak. That's, you know, that's just how things go. You get knocked down, you get up again, because they're never gonna keep you down. You know? I'm truly sorry I did that to you. Please forgive me. I'll never make reference to that song ever again. Alright, let's keep our focus. We've got a streak of nearly 200, more than 200 now. So instead of going down and trying to find more enemies there, let's go up to the next area and try and find some enemies here. And let's chain our attack, and this time, let's not sabotage our own streak by, you know, oh, there are treants here. There are treants here, which means we could be getting materials for our other beast who is not in the incubator. But I'm not gonna go back because that would mean, you know, stopping our streak in its tracks. I'd rather try and see how much of a streak we can get. And also, we don't need that much more. Oh, that much more treant material. So even if we give up on, you know, these guys and what they would have given us now, it wouldn't take us that long to get what we need. Oh, and my auto loot at some point got turned off again. So when our streak ends, I will excuse me, I will have to walk around and pick up all of the stuff that I've left on the ground. Alright, that's a pretty decent streak. Going towards 500. Hopefully we can get some nice dense groups of enemies. I don't know why that was so difficult for me to save there. You know, the downside with things like treants is that they are small, tough groups. Like, there are small groups of tough enemies, and for streaks you want large groups of weak enemies. So I would love to have an anomaly where we're only fighting like rats. That's the only enemy type. And in open areas too. Yeah, that's... looks like that's gonna be all we're gonna get in this area. So let's run around, scoop up this true legendary that we just picked up. Ooh, some other loot from that shrine. And some random benefit from that shrine. Oh, I'm just gonna pop my elixirs again while I cough once more. Apologies once again. One of these days, I will record a video when I am actually not sick. And that's gonna be a great day. We don't care what this guy has to say. Ooh, he seems like he's pretty angry. So let's try and steer clear of him. I don't think he did that much damage to us, but he was certainly being very aggressive and invading our personal space. So, you know, I had to do what I had to do. He had only himself to blame. Alright, let's sell all of this stuff. Heartstone is one of the items that we want to keep. Boots of Hazard, no, no, no. So I'm gonna go and drop Heartstone off right now. This Heartstone was only Silver Star, so we're gonna go drop off this one, which is gonna be Gold Star. And now, let's see if our pet has anything. I think Lifeguard was also one of those items. Okay, good. Excuse me. So Heartstone, Lifeguard, we've crossed off 2 items. Was this one Lifeguard? Yes, this was Silver Star. Oh. So let's drop off the Gold Star Lifeguard. Fantastic. Did you have anything else? Wrong arrows. Spectral armor. Was that something we needed? No. Was this? No. Okay. So we can safely just sell the rest of the stuff. And we've got a couple other things to throw in. These crafting materials. And now we're gonna go in for what is gonna be our last anomaly for this episode. How many crystals are we at? Ooh, we're gonna be so close to 480 mil. But not quite. Not quite. Unless we get a really like dense anomaly with lots of enemies, or if I am able to get a really good kill streak. So I'm gonna try and see if I can maybe maybe plan this out a little bit. We've got some rats, which is gonna help us out in terms of being dense groups of small enemies, which is what we like. Already past 100. Let's keep going. Try our utmost. I think I've played this relatively well. Of course, a lot is gonna depend on whether I'm able to get to the exit with this kill streak intact, and then whether I'm able to chain this kill streak onto the next floor. I'm gonna leave behind chests because in terms of how many extra crystals they'll give us, it's not going to be that much. Not in comparison to what we would get from keeping a solid kill streak alive throughout the anomaly. Okay, I know there were some enemies still there, but I wanted to go a little bit quickly to the next. Once again, we see some treants taking a bit of damage. I really need to keep an eye on my shield level, because the worst thing would be if we got a good kill streak and then stupidly got ourselves killed. So once again, I'm gonna try and, now that I've seen where the exit is, I'm gonna try and plan my path so that I end at the exit. And not that I end, in some random spot of the map, that's far away from the exit, and then I lose my kill streak. So far we're at 474, which is good. Devastation means we're past 500, that was inevitable. And now we're gonna, do a little bit of cleanup duty, running around, and these are small anomaly levels, so not the huge open levels that I would have liked. We're still getting some decent kills. I'll kill some more enemies, but oh no, I was at the wrong thing. Am I able to? I was at the wrong thing. I was at the shrine instead of the... Oh, no. See... what happened here was, first of all, I went the wrong way. I went up instead of down, ran into a dead end. And then when I ran back, I was shooting blindly, but my shots were blocked by the environment. So our kill streak there ended at 600. We could have easily hit 1,000. But, we ran out of luck. We got 2 decent maps, but then an awful map to end off this anomaly. So let's see how many we get. Maybe we went up at 1,000 because we're almost at the end. We've only got 124 so far. But still, we could have, added that 124 to our 600 kill. Yeah, we went up at 1,000. So in that case, I don't feel so bad. And this also shows you the variation in terms of how many kills you can get in your anomaly. Because we killed most of the enemies on floor 1, most of the enemies in floor 2. That only got us to like 600 something. Had we run around and killed absolutely everyone, maybe we could have pushed it towards like 750, 800-ish. But then we got here and there were barely 200 enemies on the entire map. So compared to our other run where we got 1,426, which is way more enemies than we had on these 3 floors. Alright. Well, we're not going to have time to do another full anomaly because we've got 5 minutes left before our timer runs out. So let's run. You know, should I do one more anomaly? It'll be a very long episode if I do. I think we're probably not gonna do it. We're just gonna do this boss, and then we're gonna sell our stuff, and then we're gonna call it good. Ooh, we're gonna be so close to 418 mil. Excuse me, but not quite. But not quite. But now let's sell our stuff. See if we found any of the items we're looking for. Storm Chasers was on the list, so I'll keep that. This gold star Storm Chaser. Wrong arrows. And you picked up very few items, but I'll sell them anyway. So we're not that close. Like, it would take us, it would require us to do a full other anomaly before we hit 480. So I'm not gonna do one more in this episode because it's been long enough. So where were the Storm Chasers? Here they were. We'll get rid of these. We'll throw in these gold star ones. We'll sell these Storm Chasers. Arrange our inventory, and I think that's gonna be all for this episode. Is there anything I wanted to do? Nah, I think that is gonna be all. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Next episode, we're gonna do the same exercise that I did here, but we're gonna do it with the greater boss anomalies. We started with 418 million, and after about 35 minutes, we got to 474 million, which means we got about 58 million, which isn't bad. And next episode, we definitely are gonna hit the 480 million. So that's gonna be fun, because it will mean we finally will be able to complete that very long-term objective of mine. And we didn't get any ice, but we did get a whole bunch of sandworm meat, which is good because we're making progress on this one as well. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you in the next episode. So until then, my friends, take care.